When we think about protecting ourselves, we usually imagine dark alleyways or lonely streets at night. We rarely think about the brightly lit aisles of our local supermarket on a Tuesday morning. The grocery store feels safe. It is a place of routine, where we are surrounded by neighbors, fresh produce, and familiar music. But that feeling of safety is exactly what certain individuals are counting on. There is a specific technique that is becoming increasingly common, and it relies entirely on your kindness and your focus on your shopping list. It happens in the blink of an eye, often leaving you confused and frustrated, wondering how something went missing when you were standing right there. It is not about being weak or forgetful. It is about how human attention works. Hello, I am Dr. Laura Simmons, and welcome to Senior Safety Check. I care deeply about your well-being, not just your physical health, but your peace of mind and security as you go about your day. I've also added a helpful guide to the Senior Health Guide app, linked below. Now, let's dive in. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the psychology of the environment. When you walk into a supermarket, your brain shifts gears. You are looking for specific items, perhaps comparing prices on milk or checking the ripeness of bananas. This requires cognitive focus. When your brain is busy processing these details, your peripheral awareness naturally softens. You are not scanning for threats because your brain tells you that you are in a safe, domestic environment. Pickpockets know this better than anyone else. They know that a senior citizen in a grocery store is not defenseless, but they are often distracted and, more importantly, they are usually polite. Let me tell you about Martha from Dayton, Ohio. Martha is 72 and has been shopping at the same market for 20 years. She knows the layout by heart and often stops to chat with the bakery staff. One afternoon, she was in the pasta aisle, trying to decide between two different brands of spaghetti sauce. Her purse was sitting in the child seat of the shopping cart, the flap closed but not zipped, right in front of her. She felt completely secure because her hands were on the cart handle most of the time. As she was reading the sodium content on the jar, she heard a loud clatter behind her. A young man had dropped a handful of change and a wallet on the floor. Being the kind woman she is, Martha immediately turned around. She saw the young man struggling to pick up the coins rolling under the shelf. Instinctively, she let go of her cart and took 2 small steps backward to help him point out a quarter near her shoe. She was only turned away from her cart for about 10 seconds. She exchanged a smile with the young man. He thanked her profusely and walked away. "Stay with me here." What Martha did not see was the second person. While the young man was creating that noise and drawing her eyes to the floor, his partner, who had been waiting at the end of the aisle, walked silently past her cart. In one smooth motion, the partner reached into the open bag, lifted her wallet, and kept walking. By the time Martha turned back to her sauce, her cart looked exactly the same. She finished her shopping, spent another 20 minutes in the store, and only realized her wallet was gone when she reached the checkout counter to pay. The embarrassment and panic she felt were overwhelming, but the truth is, her natural instinct to be helpful was used against her. This is often called the wallet drop or the Good Samaritan trap. It works because it exploits a social contract we all follow. If someone drops something, we look. If someone needs help, we assist. It is hard to override that instinct, and quite frankly, we shouldn't have to lose our kindness just to stay safe. However, we do need to adjust our habits. The issue here wasn't Martha's kindness. It was the separation from the cart. Even a few feet of distance creates a blind spot. This technique isn't just happening in the United States. It is a global issue because human behavior is the same everywhere. Let's look at Liam, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Cork, Ireland. Liam is very sharp and usually very observant. He was shopping for a dinner party and was looking at the wine selection. In this case, there was no loud noise. Instead, a woman approached him with a bottle of olive oil. She looked confused and distressed. She spoke with a heavy accent and held the bottle out to him, asking if he could help her read the ingredients because she had an allergy. Liam, being a helpful man, took the bottle from her hands. To read the small print, he had to take his glasses out of his pocket and really focus on the label. The woman stood close to him, pointing at the bottle, effectively blocking his view of his own cart, which was parked just to his right. This is a technique called blocking. Her physical presence created a wall. While Liam was squinting at the olive oil label, trying to help a stranger avoid an allergic reaction, an accomplice came from the other side. They didn't even take a wallet this time. They lifted his smartphone, which he had left resting on top of his reusable shopping bags. Liam handed the bottle back. The woman thanked him and left. It wasn't until he got to his car and wanted to check his messages that he realized the phone was gone. He felt violated because he was doing a good deed. The thieves used his empathy as a tool to distract him. This is important. Notice the pattern in both stories. There is always a distraction that requires your eyes to look away from your valuables. It might be a noise, a question, or a request for help. The thieves work in teams. One creates the diversion, and the other does the taking. They rely on the fact that you cannot watch two things at once. When you are focusing on the label or the dropped coins, your cart becomes invisible to you for just those few critical seconds. I want to talk a little bit about the physical aspect of this. As we age, our ability to divide our attention changes. If you are balancing, or if you are leaning over to look at a bottom shelf, your body prioritizes that movement to keep you steady. If someone interrupts you during that moment, your brain has to work harder to process the new information. Thieves look for these moments. They look for the person who is already juggling a list, a coupon, and a heavy item. They look for the person who seems a bit overwhelmed. Now, let's talk about the danger zones outside the aisles. The danger doesn't stop once you pay for your groceries. In fact, the transition from the store to the car is one of the most vulnerable times. This is because your hands are full, you are thinking about getting home, and you are often navigating traffic in the parking lot. Consider Barbara from Phoenix, Arizona. Barbara is 75 and very active. She drives herself everywhere and takes pride in her independence. She had finished her weekly grocery run and was pushing her cart to her car. The parking lot was busy and hot. She opened her trunk and began lifting the heavy bags inside. To do this, she had placed her purse in the front seat of the car and closed the door. But she hadn't locked it yet because she hadn't started the engine. She was focused on arranging the milk so it wouldn't tip over. A car pulled up behind her, blocking her in slightly. The driver rolled down the window and asked for directions to the nearest freeway entrance. Barbara stopped loading, wiped her brow, and walked a few steps toward the driver to point him in the right direction. She was helpful, clear, and polite. While she was pointing west, the passenger in that car quietly opened her passenger door, grabbed the purse she had just placed on the seat, and closed the door softly. Listen closely. Barbara never saw the passenger. She was focused on the driver's face and the directions. The engine noise of their car masked the sound of her own car door opening. She finished loading her groceries, got in the driver's seat, and only then realized the passenger seat was empty. The feeling of invasion in her own vehicle was terrifying for her. This is known as the parking lot distraction. It relies on the chaotic environment of a parking lot. Engines are running, carts are rattling, and people are walking in every direction. It is sensory overload. When someone engages you in conversation, your brain filters out the background noise, including the sound of your own door latch. We need to understand that these thieves are professionals. They treat this like a job. They practice these moves. They know exactly how long it takes for a person to read a label or give directions. They know that seniors are often carrying cash, and they know that many seniors were raised to be polite to strangers. They weaponize your good manners. But I don't want you to feel afraid to leave your house. Fear restricts our lives, and that is not healthy for your heart or your spirit. Instead of fear, I want to give you tools. I want you to have a strategy, just like you have a shopping list. The first strategy starts before you even enter the store. It is about how you carry your valuables. Many of us carry a purse or a bag out of habit. We carry it because we always have. But in a supermarket environment, a purse sitting in a cart is a detached target. If you can, consider wearing a small crossbody bag that stays on your person at all times. If the wallet is attached to you, they have to confront you to take it. And pickpockets do not want confrontation. They want invisibility. If you must carry a larger purse, never leave it in the child's seat of the cart, even if you are holding the handle. There is a simple tool you can use called a carabiner clip. It is an inexpensive metal loop with a spring gate, often used by hikers. You can clip your purse strap directly to the metal of the shopping cart. It sounds like a small thing, but if someone tries to grab your bag and walk away, the whole cart will move. That resistance is usually enough to make a thief abort the attempt instantly. They want an easy lift, not a struggle with a metal cart. Let me slow down here. I want you to visualize this next time you are at the store. You are in the aisle. Someone drops a jar of pickles. It shatters. It is loud. Glass is everywhere. Your instinct is to jump back or look down. That is a normal, healthy reflex. But as you do that, I want you to train yourself to immediately put a hand on your personal belongings. It should become a reflex, just like looking both ways before crossing the street. The noise happens, and your hand goes to your bag. This signals to anyone watching that you are aware and guarded. Another tactic they use involves bumping into you. It seems like a clumsy accident. They bump into you, apologize profusely, maybe even touch your arm to steady you. This touch is a distraction. While your brain registers the contact on your arm, it ignores the sensation of a hand slipping into your pocket or bag. This is basic neurology. Our brains prioritize the strongest sensation. If someone bumps you hard enough to startle you, that startle response covers up the theft. If you are bumped in a store, assume it might not be an accident. Step back. Create space. Check your belongings immediately, right in front of them. Do not worry about being rude. If it was a genuine accident, checking your wallet won't hurt their feelings. If it was an attempt at theft, you have just let them know you are onto them. We also need to talk about the checkout line. This is a high-risk area because you are distracted by the payment process. You are looking at the card reader, finding your coupons, or chatting with the cashier. People are often standing very close behind you. This is a prime spot for what we call shoulder surfing. They watch you enter your PIN number. Then, they target you in the parking lot to steal the card, knowing they already have the code to use it. To prevent this, you must protect your personal space. Position your cart behind you while you pay, rather than in front of you. By pulling the cart through and standing between the cart and the card reader, you create a physical barrier between yourself and the person next in line. It feels a bit unnatural at first because we are used to pushing the cart forward, but keeping the empty cart behind you acts as a shield. Let's return to the idea of the helpful stranger. It is a sad reality that we have to be suspicious of help, but you can still be polite without being vulnerable. If someone asks you to read a label, you can say, "I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses," and keep moving. Or you can grip your purse tightly under your arm before you lean in to look. The key is to secure your perimeter before you extend your help. You are not being unkind, you are being wise. You are prioritizing your safety so that you can continue to be a healthy, active member of your community. I want you to think about your routine. Do you go to the store at the same time every week? Do you park in the same spot? While routine is good for our memory, it can sometimes make us predictable. Varying your parking spot can help keep you alert. Parking near the cart return corral is often safer because there is more legitimate foot traffic there, and you don't have to walk as far to return your cart, leaving your car unattended for less time. Speaking of the cart return, this is another classic distraction point. You load your groceries, get in your car, and then realize you need to return the cart. You get out, walk 10 feet to the corral, and leave your car door unlocked because you will only be gone for 10 seconds. That 10-second window is all a thief needs. While you are being a responsible citizen and returning your cart to the corral, your back is turned to your vehicle. Your purse is likely sitting on the passenger seat or the center console. A thief who has been watching you load your groceries knows exactly where it is. They can slip open the unlocked passenger door, grab the bag, and close the door before you have even let go of the cart handle. By the time you turn around, the parking lot looks exactly as it did before, but your sense of security has been shattered. I want you to hear this clearly. The safest place for your wallet or purse while you return a cart is with you. Not in the car, and certainly not hidden under a jacket on the seat. If you must leave it in the car, lock the doors before you walk those few steps to the corral. It feels like a hassle to lock and unlock the car for such a short task, but that minor inconvenience is your best defense against a crime of opportunity. Let's look at another tactic that happens right in the driver's seat. This involves Robert, a 74-year-old retired engineer living in Orlando, Florida. Robert is a man of routine and logic. He always locks his doors the moment he gets into his vehicle. One humid afternoon, he had finished his shopping and was buckled in, ready to back out of his parking space. He checked his rearview mirror and then looked at his windshield. Tucked under the wiper blade, right in front of his face, was a flyer that looked like a parking citation, or perhaps a $20 bill. Robert was confused. He hadn't parked illegally. His immediate reaction was frustration and curiosity. Without thinking, he unbuckled his seatbelt, opened his door, and stepped out to grab the paper from under the wiper. He left the engine running because he intended to be back inside in 2 seconds. As he reached for the flyer, a person who had been crouching near the rear bumper of his car slipped into the open driver's side door and grabbed his wallet from the dashboard. In a more dangerous version of this scenario, thieves have been known to jump into the driver's seat and steal the vehicle itself. The flyer was a decoy. It was placed there specifically to make Robert exit the vehicle after he had already secured himself inside. The thieves knew that human curiosity is a powerful reflex. We want to know what is on our windshield. We want to clear our vision. Robert felt foolish afterward, but he shouldn't have. He was reacting to a visual obstruction. The lesson here is to never get out of your car to check something on the exterior once you are safe inside. If you see a flyer, a note, or even money on your windshield, drive to a safe, well-lit public area or a police station before you get out to remove it. Do not compromise your safety boundary for a piece of paper. This brings us to a very important point about your physical safety during these encounters. As we age, our reaction times slow down slightly, and our balance can be more fragile. If you realize a theft is happening, Your instinct might be to grab the thief or pull your bag back. I want to strongly advise you against this. These individuals are often younger, faster, and desperate. A tug-of-war over a handbag can easily result in a fall, a broken hip, or a serious head injury. Your health and your mobility are worth far more than any amount of cash or credit cards in your wallet. Property can be replaced. Your physical independence is much harder to recover. Now, let's travel north to Toronto, Canada, to discuss a different kind of distraction that happens inside the store or mall. Elena is 68 and loves browsing the aisles for sales. She was wearing her winter coat because it was a chilly day. As she was walking near the deli section, a woman walking past her stumbled and spilled a cup of coffee right down the front of Elena's coat. The liquid was warm and made a terrible mess. The woman was mortified. She started apologizing loudly, grabbing napkins and practically swarming Elena to help clean up the stain. Elena was flustered. She was looking at the stain, worried about her coat, and trying to reassure the woman that it was okay. In the flurry of napkins and apologies, the woman's accomplice, who had stepped in to help from the side, gently lifted Elena's wallet from her large coat pocket. The physical sensation of the wallet being removed was completely masked by the vigorous dabbing and wiping of the coffee stain. Pay attention to this part. This is called the mustard dip, or the spill trick. The spill is intentional. It creates a physical sensation on your body that distracts your nerves from feeling the pickpocket. It also creates a social situation where touch is suddenly permissible. Strangers are touching you to help you clean up, invading your personal space in a way that would normally be unacceptable. If anyone spills something on you, step back immediately. Do not let them touch you or your clothing. Firmly say, "I can handle it," and move away to a restroom or a staff member. Protecting your personal space is more important than a stain on a jacket. These stories from Martha, Liam, Barbara, Robert, and Elena all share a common thread. The thieves did not use weapons or threats. They used psychology. They used kindness, curiosity, and confusion. They controlled the situation by directing the senior's attention elsewhere. This is why standard advice like "watch your back" doesn't always work. You can't watch your back if someone is forcing you to look at your shoes or your windshield. So, how do we build a habit that protects us without making us paranoid? We need to change how we carry our essential items. Consider carrying a decoy wallet if you are in a high-risk area, though for most of us, simply slimming down what we carry is enough. Do not take every credit card you own to the grocery store. Take one card and your ID and keep them in a secure, zippered inside pocket or a neck pouch under your shirt. If your purse is snatched, the loss is minimal, and you haven't lost your entire identity. Another practical tip involves your keys. Many of us throw our keys into our purse while we shop. If that purse is stolen, the thief now has your address from your ID and the keys to your house. This is a terrifying thought. Make it a habit to keep your car and house keys in your pants pocket or a separate pocket on your body, never in the bag that sits in the cart. If the worst happens and your bag is taken, you can still get into your car, you can still get into your home, and you are not left stranded in a parking lot. I also want to suggest a mental exercise you can do next time you go shopping. It is called the 360 scan. Before you unlock your car to load your groceries, stop for just a moment. Stand still and look around you in a full circle. Look for anyone sitting in a parked car with the engine running. Look for anyone loitering near the cart return. Look for anyone who seems to be watching the shoppers rather than doing their own shopping. This brief pause does two things. First, It gives you information about your environment. Second, and perhaps more importantly, it signals to anyone watching that you are alert. Thieves look for the oblivious. They avoid the observant. When you are loading your car, try to keep your body between the cart and the open trunk. Do not leave the cart floating in the middle of the lane while you dive into the trunk. Keep everything tight and close. If someone approaches you for directions or help in the parking lot, you have permission to be unhelpful. You can simply wave your hand and say, "I don't know," without stopping what you are doing. You are not a bad person for prioritizing your safety. You are simply a wise senior who understands the risks. We also have to talk about the emotional aftermath. If you or someone you know has been a victim of this, please understand that the shame is not yours to carry. These thieves are professionals who exploit human decency. Feeling foolish is a common reaction, but it is misplaced. You are targeted because you are a good person who pays attention to the world, and that is a quality worth preserving. We just need to add a layer of protective armor to that kindness. Your intuition is a powerful medical tool. It is part of your survival instinct. If a situation feels off, if a person is standing too close, if a spill feels too convenient, if a noise seems too theatrical, listen to that feeling. It is better to be rude and safe than polite and victimized. Your blood pressure, your stress levels, and your heart health all benefit when you feel in control of your environment. When you walk into that supermarket next time, I want you to walk with your head up. I want you to feel confident. You know their tricks now. You know about the wallet drop, the windshield flyer, and the spill. You know that your cart is not a safe, and you know that your attention is your most valuable asset. You are not just a shopper, you are the guardian of your own well-being. Taking these small precautions becomes second nature very quickly. It is like putting on a seatbelt. At first, you have to remind yourself, but soon you feel naked without it. Clipping your bag, separating your keys, scanning the parking lot, these are small adjustments that pay huge dividends in peace of mind. You can enjoy your shopping, chat with the bakery staff, and pick out your fresh produce, all while knowing that you have made yourself a hard target. I hope these stories and strategies have given you a new perspective on your weekly routine. It is not about living in fear, it is about living with wisdom. You have navigated life for decades, raised families, built careers, and contributed to your communities. You have all the tools you need to outsmart these tricks. It just takes a little bit of knowledge and a shift in focus. Let's recap. Keep your bag attached to you, ignore distractions in the parking lot, never leave your purse in the cart, and trust your gut if something feels wrong. Even small daily steps can help you feel steadier, safer, and more confident in everything you do.